Hey guys, how you doing? Uncle Bob here once again with another video, and today we're going to be doing a double DVD review of Marvel's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and the sequel Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is obviously the animated style-based movies that they've done. We'd only ever had previously the animated TV series years ago, back in the 90s. Used to be on when I was younger, growing up in the 90s. But the movies that they've made, it's 8 movies, had all been live action, with real people. And it's the first time they've done 2 movies, or a series of movies that have been animated. And yeah, so here's the review on this. There's quite a lot that happens in them, so I'm going to try and do my best to cover a lot of stuff. So obviously, yeah, the first one, Across the Spider-Verse. Now, I must admit, I wasn't overly too keen on this. Not the movie, but the idea of it being animated. Don't get me wrong, I like Spider-Man, I like the movies, and I said I like the animated TV series it was on. However, I just didn't. Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, I've only just seen both of these movies just recently, because I wanted to check them out and do it and add to it on the channel. And yeah, I just didn't really. I mean, I probably would have seen them eventually, but yeah, as I said, if it had been live action, yeah, then I would have wanted to see it straight away, because I just prefer. All right, fair enough for the TV series it was on, but as it comes to film, yeah, I wasn't overly too keen on it being animated, and I wasn't really, the whole idea of it. I would have just preferred it to be live action, but what was I going to say? Yeah, I just wasn't overly keen on the idea of it being animated. Similar situation with the Turtles. I prefer the old Turtles film where it was real people in costumes, live action, and then when they did the animated sort of style cartoon version in 2007, I think it was, of the Turtles, and I wasn't too overly keen on that either. Although I've seen it a couple of times, I wasn't too overly keen on that. Would have preferred it when it's like that, and I just don't like the idea of it being animated rather than live action. I just don't. Yeah, not really too bothered about it. I prefer it to be live action. Yeah, but there you go. So first one was 2018, I believe. I can't believe that's about 6 years already since that one. Gone quite quick. 2018 that was. Christ. So. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, people who created Lego Movie and 21 Jump Street. This is their sort of like take on it, style, with it sort of like a new idea, which was quite a fresh. I will say it's quite a fresh new idea, which was is always nice to bring new ideas. I think I probably, in all fairness, I'd probably like to see it stay true to the sort of old, sort of where it's Peter Parker and stick to a story that I sort of know and familiar with, rather than it being new. But you know, it was a new idea, you know, in all freshness, and yeah, it's the new character of Miles Morales, who becomes Spider-Man. So obviously it's a total new character, who, you know, is like an artist and then draws Spider-Man, and then he becomes a Spider-Man, different version of Spider-Man that we see. You know, not the one we're familiar with of Peter Parker. And then yeah, he starts becoming Spider-Man after that. And yeah, in all fairness, it's a new story, and as I said, I do prefer Peter Parker, but actually, it's actually all right. As I said, it's a new idea, and yeah, it's not bad actually. I don't mind it. I think it's quite cool. You know, when you first see it, it's quite cool, and you want to know about the story and the character. And yeah, and visually, it looks quite good. You know, animation is all really good, and it all looks really good with what they've done. And yeah, the writing and I think the script is alright. You know, it all sounded okay with the storyline and voiceovers, and that all sounded okay. So the writing was pretty good. And then the action, yeah, I mean, what happens in the first one? Yeah, there's loads. Well, there's a lot more in the second one, but the first one, yeah, there's loads of action and loads of good stuff going on. And to be honest, it's hard to sometimes keep up with it because I mean, there's just loads going on. There's probably more going on in these two than there is in the live action ones because, you know, it just goes from one moment to another, and it's just so much going on. It's really hard to sort of say, when you've got live action, it's good and what bit's bad, and you know, up and down. But this is a case of, you know, because it's animation, it all looks pretty good. To be fairness, I mean, you can only really say, apart from when there's nothing happening, it's not much going on. But you know, when it gets to it, the action is pretty good, and yeah, it just goes from, you know, one thing to another, and it's just, yeah, but it's all pretty good once it gets going. You know, the action and storyline gets going, and it's pretty good actually. In all fairness, you know, the action and the animation looks all really good, and yeah, I think it's pretty good actually. Yeah, so I think overall, yeah, apart from it being, you know, not a storyline that I'm familiar with and it's a new idea, I think it's all pretty much all good stuff, really. I think the time is not too bad, to be honest. Time you take away these sort of end credits leaves you with about 1:45 or so around that area, so not too bad. The second one might be probably a bit too long, but we'll go to that in a minute. Yeah, but overall, I think it's all pretty good. As I said, visually, it looks really good. As I said, the script and the storyline with a new character. Yeah, I think it all looks pretty good, to be fair. So anyway, that's the first one. Now the second one, which is, as I said, longer and a lot more going on. I'm not sure if it's about just over, somewhere in the region of just over 2 hours, I believe. The second one, you could probably say, if it was live action, then fair enough, being that time. But you know, animated, I think animation going on, you know, 2 hours, just over 2 hours, is probably too long, I'd say. First one might be just alright, I think, but the second one probably way too for animation film. So I think that isn't the only really issue for the second one. As I said, second one is again same character, Miles Morales, and it's sort of continuing from the events of the first one and getting more involved in the storyline. getting to know the character more, and developing into more deep into the Spider-Verse storyline type stuff that they got going on. And yeah, it's pretty good as well. The second one, I'm not sure if the first one just edges it, being better, but I don't know. The second one is pretty good in all fairness as well. Loads going on, and even more new characters being involved, and even getting more into the another new storyline, and just like there's loads of action, so many, again, like similar situation to the first one, it just jumps from one thing to the other, and there's very little where there's not really much going on, but then when it gets to it, the action is pretty good in it. It looks really good, similar to the first one. Script is pretty good. Maybe the script is better than the first one, maybe the second one, but there's just loads. There's just loads going on. I mean, sometimes it's hard to keep up with it. And the second one, to be honest, there's just loads going on. I try and do a lot in the second one. And there's other Spider-Men that he sees, and then they're all grouped together. And there's loads of different versions of Spider-Man, and there's just loads of action, fight scenes, and the animation looks all pretty good. I mean, visually it looks really, really good. The animation, and I think the storyline is pretty good. And as I said, like the first one, wasn't too keen on it, but you sort of get used to the character. You're used to the character from the first one, Miles, and then you sort of like him after the events of the first one, and then like the character and getting to know him more. Getting more involved in the storyline. It's all pretty good stuff. As I said, I think the only thing really, all right, maybe there's maybe too much going on, perhaps, and it's just a bit too long. But other than that, I think it's all pretty good stuff in the second one. As I said, I think it's pretty good most of the way through. As I said, I've opted for it being just too long, and then sometimes maybe dragging, where it's talking going on. It's a bit, it's one of those ones where it's just quite long, and it's sometimes at some moments where it's just hard to keep up with it. Really, you're just trying to keep up with it, because it's all just when it gets going, it's fast paced, and it's going from one moment to the other. But with that being said, it's all just good stuff, really. As I said, visually it looks great, and with all the other Spider-Men and the other characters, looks pretty good to me. Don't know really what there is much more to say about it, really. As I said, I can't really fault it, apart from it being too long, which is its main issue. And as I said, just keeping up the pace of it, to be honest, with so much going on, it's just from one moment to the next with everything going on. But it's I mean, once you've seen the second one, it's just like you've got through all of that, after everything that's happened, and it's all pretty good to me. As I said, apart from maybe the first one, maybe just edges it. Maybe the second one, as I said, just too long. But as I said, visually great, action great, and just pretty cool seeing all the other villains and the other Spider-Man, which looks pretty good. I'm not sure. I wonder if does anyone know if there's going to be another one? I'm not really sure. I don't really know much about the series. Maybe there will be. I'm sure. I think these have been pretty successful so far, so I'm guessing there would be another one, but I don't know. Maybe they've ended it there. I'm not too sure. But yeah, both really good. I say, apart from maybe the first one being more because it's a fresh new idea, and maybe storyline might be a bit better, and it's shorter, which I think it's about the right time, with the second one being too long and just too much going on, which is sometimes hard to keep up the pace of it all going on. But apart from that, yeah, both pretty good, and I definitely would take a look at the next one if it comes out. I'm sure it's going to be really good and just as good. And yeah, so guys, I did a quick video on this before, but I thought it was all fair to do a actual review of the films, put a bit of work in and do the reviews on it. So there you go, guys. There's a review for you, and yeah, if you've seen it, you know they're pretty good. If you haven't, I definitely would recommend seeing them. Yeah, and I managed to pick up this on eBay for £10 for the double DVD, which is pretty fair deal for both films. So guys, that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more vids, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care, bye for now, see you soon.